cool story of what God has been up to in his life, and so it's a story of hope and a story of triumph and victory. It's fitting. We've been looking forward to this day for a while. It's a perfect day for him to share this story. So if you guys would give him your attention for a couple of minutes. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Derek.
All right, happy Easter, everybody. God bless you. You know, 2 years ago, I weighed over 450 pounds. This morning I weighed 260. That means I've lost over 190 pounds in the last 2 years. When I look back, I pretty much don't like what I see. That guy was hopeless, helpless, powerless over food and what he did with it. I tried every diet in the world. I tried every fad diet, every medical monitored diet. I did psychiatric counseling. I even had a gastric bypass surgery. But after a couple years, I ate through that and I put on 100 of the 140 pounds I'd lost. I just couldn't control anything about it. Well, then about March of 2010, I saw in the Washington Post that The Biggest Loser was having an open casting at the Washington Convention Center. At that time, I was an aspiring stand-up comedian, so I said, hey, that's my ticket to get famous. So I went in and auditioned, and I was a little disappointed when I got there to see that there were over 1,000 people trying to get on that show. I was even more disappointed to see that the auditions were on the second floor. I waited over a half an hour for that elevator, and that show pays $250,000 to the winner, and not one of us seemed willing to take the stairs for a chance at that brass ring. That was terrible. You know, when I got in that big room, there's 1,000 people in this big room, and I thought, I got to do something to stand out, so I went up and did some of my stand-up comedy, and it was pretty cool because all my jokes were fat man jokes and talk about your perfect target audience, you know. So that was a big hit, and then I went home, and I got a call from Three Ball Productions, and they said, Mr. Wilcox, we think you're funny, we'd like you to come back for an on-camera interview. You're one of 12 out of the 1,000 that were selected. I said, yes! So I went to that interview, and that interview changed my life. I didn't get on the show, but they had the audacity to ask me questions like, if you get on this show and you lose a lot of weight and you come back, as a fit man, can you tell those same jokes, or will it just seem like you're a fit guy telling cruel jokes about fat people? Oh? So that might be a little cruel. And so they said, well, really then, if you think about it that way, do you think those jokes you're telling, are they laughing with you or are they laughing at you? I didn't really like hearing that, and then they went on to ask me a lot more questions about what possibly I thought other people thought when they saw me. They asked me what I thought about myself, and they made me think about things that I'd never thought about before. And I wept. The emotions of that show were very real. So I went home and I immediately went for a walk. I walked down to the end of my street. When I got to the end of my street, I was sweaty, I was out of breath, my ankles, my feet were screaming. I turned around to go back home and it was all uphill. So I prayed. I said, God, I can't do this. You got to make this easy for me. I've tried everything in life and there's nothing I can do about my weight. And so it was a miracle. In my mind came Matthew chapter 30, verse 11. My yoke is easy, my burden light. And I made it up the hill. And I don't know why to this day, but I went in and I got on Facebook and I posted my weight, 451 pounds. And I said, you guys, I need some help. At that point, it's like God sent angels to me. Immediately, I had dozens of friends saying, Chris, you can do this, encouraging words, and they gave me tips on what to eat, drink a lot of water, don't drink pop, get exercise, you know, just park a little farther, you know. So I started applying those things because those were things I could do, and I've been losing weight ever since. Another thing that's been good for me was right here in the D.C. area in Annandale, this Pastor Steve Reynolds at Capital Baptist Church has a thing called Back for God, Losing to Live. And we're going to bring that program to Grace. And it is an incredible program that not only helps you lose weight, but it helps you keep it off. I have to share with you that my weight loss has been easy. The burden has been light. And that's just testimony that God is faithful. It's been incredible for me as I've met goal after goal. I used to pray things on the treadmill like, dear God, thank you for getting me here, but let's get this time over with and get me off this thing, right? But as I've gone on, I've seen that God has kept me on track, and I'm prayerful every time I'm making a decision about what to eat or what I'm going to do for exercise. He's been there for me. And it's some of the principles that I learned in that Bod for God class, and I hope to share them with you. If you're interested, if you want to lose 50 pounds, 20 pounds, 10 pounds, if you want to lose 250 like I did, nobody here qualifies. But anyway, if you're interested, see me after service. I'll be up front, and God bless you all, and happy Easter.